Knowledge is power. Make an impact by learning more, or hire us to do it for you. Let us focus on what we do best so you can stay focused on what you do best. Find all of our options under services, one-to-one training, subscription-based training, or accounting and business consulting. Welcome to another special Nerds Words edition of a screencast. We're talking about projecting revenue. This is the segment for my real estate brokers and agent friends. And the idea here is it may be very unpredictable. It may be very unrealistic to sit here and say, well, here's what I think I'm going to do in sales. So my comment is to think of it as a goal rather than a projection. Think of it as a target, a number that you want to hit. And that way you can shoot for it and keep a schedule like the one you've now got on your screens in front of you. I normally would do this in Google Sheets, but I just sketched it out quickly in Excel, easily converted by simply dragging and dropping the file. And by the way, we do offer consulting and training services. Consulting meaning we do it for you. You can outsource your whole accounting function to us here at Nerd Enterprises. We'll focus on this stuff for you so that you can focus on sales. Heck, I'll build this model for you in your business and then work with you on it weekly or monthly, whatever makes sense, in order to gauge whether or not and how close you're getting to reaching these goals. But let's get down to business here. So I've kind of built this for you already, but I'm going to walk through how this works. We have a target sales volume per unit. So this is going to vary depending on the market that you're in, right? So I've set it at $1.5 million. I work with realtors who are in Beverly Hills. So this is the kind of market we're accustomed to. But all you would do is change this number to say $500,000. If that's more fitting to the area that you're working in. And you put in the commission. I've got 4% here. That seems pretty standard all the way around from what I've seen. Now, the base rate is really just where are we starting? How many homes do we expect to sell in the first month? Notice I'm setting this up for November of 2018. I'm recording this October 28th, 2018. We're obviously like a minute away from this, so it makes sense to start the projections here. And quick little tip on this. How did I do this nice and quick? I put in 11/1/18. Whoopsie. Let's try that again. I can write crazy formulas, but I can't type 12/1/18. So I get the pattern established that I want the first of each month. Highlight both of these, right? And then bottom right corner, click and drag. And I've got my timeline set up perfectly, right? Now the formulas on this are simple. Again, this is the first month is going to be based on the base rate, right? And that makes it so that all I have to do once this is built is change the numbers here and everything else kind of updates from there. So this we just set equal to that. And then we have the growth rate. How much do I expect my sales to grow in volume from month to month? So I've got this set at 2%. Simple formula here. Starting in the second month, we're going to say equals, we're going to take what we did the last month, right, times open parentheses, because otherwise it'll do the multiplication before the addition. We need to take 1 plus the growth rate, right? Because multiplying the previous month by 1 plus the growth rate will cause it to reflect what it is with, the growth rate included, right? So I don't have to do extra math somehow separately. It basically takes the growth rate times this and adds it to that to get the result. And this I can just copy across, but first I've got to make sure that I hold some of my references constant. So when I click into the formula, notice it's showing me color-coded what's where. So I need that G constant, right? As I copy it to the right, I don't want G to become H and then I and then so on, right? The I need to remain relative because I always want it to look at the previous month. So I just have to set that one cell reference constant and then I can copy that across to the right. Okay, and so yeah, of course we're getting partial. Obviously, I'm not going to sell partial homes, but this is to give me an estimate of what I want my sales to be, because I'm not always going to sell homes for exactly $500,000, and I may not always earn exactly 4%. There's all kinds of deals, right? I may outsource the sale of a property to somebody else and get only 25% of their commission, whatever that is. I know how you guys work a lot because I work with a lot of you. So then we calculate what's my actual commissions earned, right? This is a simple formula, right? It's easy for you to say simple, you say. Here's how it works. We take the base target or sales volume per unit times the commission rate, right? And take that times the volume. How many of these are we selling? So it goes straight up there. Okay, we don't need this in the formula for the sales. These are really used to calculate the volume up here, but I like to have the model lay things out consistently, so I include them there because I may be looking down here. I may want to understand where these numbers came from, right? But if you find that this is confusing, you can certainly sort of black these out, just so it's clear that these are not really being used in this part of the calculation, right? All kinds of things like that you can do. Now I want to copy this across, but again, there's a couple of things that need to be held constant. The D over where my base sales per unit is, right? And then I need the E, right? The commission rate needs to be coming from the same place. And the I is going to be dynamic. So now I can copy that across, and it will take whatever the corresponding volume is from above times this to get the resulting commissions. So this will give me a sense of what my target is for each month, right? And if I say, well, wait a minute, remember I reduced this to $500,000, so your base rate volume may start at something like 4, right? So notice how when I change that to 4, boom, it immediately updates everything, and now I can see that at this rate, I'll hit my goal. If my goal was $100,000, I'll start hitting it by around the end of 2019. And this assumes I can consistently hit these targets, which is, again, an average of a little more than 4 homes per month and climbing as we go out, right? Really, I need to hit 5 homes per month at this rate in order to hit my goal of $100,000 in commissions. And yes, of course, this is before any fees or anything else are taken out. But this is just to get a starting point. We could go much, much deeper with this if you want to. So this, my friends, is hopefully a way of helping you make a beginning at projecting your revenues and starting to set up some goals, because it's been my experience that when I have a goal to look at in front of me every single day, I'm much more focused on achieving that goal. I waste a lot less time because I'm more cognizant of when it is that I'm engaged in an activity that's not getting me closer to that goal, and I can stop and at any given time say to myself, wait a minute, have I hit my target of 80,000 yet for the month? If not, I better get focused. It helps me prioritize. It helps me become aware of when I'm doing something that's just not a good use of my time. And I've seen it with my own clients. I've seen my clients waste time on things that don't matter when they could be focused on getting the next sale instead. So again, having a process like this and getting in the habit of looking at it every day and keeping it. I keep it up on my screen all day long, my version of this, so that I'm constantly reminded this is my goal for the day. And if I haven't hit it, then I'd better get focused. And then at 6 or 7 o'clock or whenever I'm going to retire for the day, then I learn to let it go and go home and relax and balance, because that's key also. But that, my friends, is 7.5 minutes on setting your revenue goals for my real estate broker and agent friends.